What's up, guys? It's the 90s Baby Gamer giving you another video. For this video, I wanted to talk about who is the Raw MVP of 2016. We're in mid-October, so I think it's, around that time where we start discussing who the MVP is for both brands. And let's be real here, I don't think it's any competition on the SmackDown brand, but on the Raw brand, I think you can make an argument for two guys, and those two guys are Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. Now, it's funny how in the beginning of the year, we were all kind of like bashing WWE for making Chris Jericho go over AJ Styles at WrestleMania, and we really didn't think Jericho's return was all that special. And fast forward to now in October of this same year, and Jericho is killing it as a heel with this whole list of Jericho that he's got, from the gift of Jericho, drink it in, man, all this stuff. Jericho has just been one of the very few highlights of Monday Night Raw, and every time he's on my TV screen, I'm glued to the TV screen. And the same can be said about his quote-unquote best friend, Kevin Owens. Just every time these two performers on Raw, I just can't help but smile. So let me talk about the Universal Champion, Kevin Owens, and what makes him an easy candidate for the Raw MVP of 2016. Kevin Owens was really kind of floating around with that Intercontinental title. Everybody was up in arms, including myself, at Zack Ryder winning the belt at WrestleMania in that ladder match, only to drop it to The Miz on the following night. And we all knew that was just done for shock value and nothing more. And it was proven on the following night on Monday Night Raw when they just made him drop it to The Miz. So it seemed like Owens was just going to be left in limbo, even though his character on screen definitely deserved more. He proved himself to be an elite level heel, and the best heel easily on the roster once Seth Rollins got injured, and they did that whole Sheamus and Roman Reigns angle, and just, oh god. Anyway, sorry if I reminded you of the really terrible times on Raw. I'm not sure what's worse, the end of 2015, that whole authority crap, or now. But anyway, Kevin Owens has just been on the money. He just does things that other heels wouldn't do. Like one of the things that I absolutely love, that segment with New Day, where Kevin Owens said that New Day had jumped the shark 7 months ago, and Xavier Woods responded by saying, "When's the last time you've jumped over anything?" And in the match, Owens gives Woods a scoop slam, and then he says, "You want to see me jump over something?" And he jumps over Woods like a couple of times. It was so fantastic. But that's one of the things that makes the Universal Champion stand out. He really does pay attention to detail, and I think he's one of the best heels that WWE has had in quite some time. Seth Rollins was good, but the problem with Seth was that when he was on his run with the WWE Championship and he was with the Authority, he was kind of bogged down by the Authority. They told him, go out every night, have these 10, 15-minute promos to open up Raw, and it just sounded so boring and so robotic, and you could tell he was reading a script and not much was emotional. It was the times where Seth went off the script that he really showed his emotion, and you can tell it was real, it was genuine. And of course his wrestling abilities were never in question as a heel, but I really think Kevin Owens is the best heel that we've seen on Monday Night Raw in quite some time. Now onto Chris Jericho, who could easily be a face at this point. Every time he talks about the list, the crowd pops huge. Jericho, I remember him first coming back, and he was going over Neville at, I think, the Beast in the East event, and everybody was just up in arms about Chris Jericho's return. Nobody really liked it. They were just like, oh, this is just typical Jericho, par for the course, nostalgic. But Jericho, as he always does, reinvents himself to cater to whatever the audience is at that present moment, because the WWE audience has been known to change. We all know about like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, the WWE audience would have never responded to a Finn Balor, or maybe even to a Kevin Owens, because that audience was pretty much just the audience that WWE wanted. Cheer John Cena and just sit down for any other face that comes out. Just don't respond to them. And I hated those WWE crowds, because it was just like, are you interested in anything but the main events? It really just left me scratching my head. I have to say, Jericho is easily the best superstar in WWE to adapt. He can adapt to any situation and any crowd. Remember when he returned back in 2007 to have that feud with Orton, and his return was kind of flat? Nobody really responded to him as a babyface, but then he reinvented himself, smashing HBK's face on the Geritron. He's just so, he can adapt to any new crowd, and that's what makes Jericho one of the best wrestlers in the history of the industry. Forget the WWE, of the industry, because of just how he's able to adapt. If I had to choose between the two, man, it's very hard. It's so difficult. to choose between these two guys, who are ironically in a storyline together. They're the two best heels in the company. Well, maybe not the company. I think AJ Styles would have an argument with that, but I would say those three are the best heels in the company right now. Man, that is tough. You know what? I'm gonna lean towards Owens just because of, you know, how fresh and how much mileage he has left. Whereas, you know, Jericho can't keep this up forever, and he may do the part-time gig again. So I guess in terms of reliability, you're going to have Owens ahead of Jericho. But man, is Jericho tuning in one of the best performances of his career. And, you know, that's really saying something, since Jericho has had a ton of rebounds that have just been amazing to me. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think I'm off base here in talking about who the Raw MVP is? Do you have a different choice? Let me know in the comment section. And if you like the video, give it a like. If you like more of my content, be sure to subscribe. Until the next time, I'll catch you guys later.